Hello there, how are you? I'm Alice, also known as the Stormy Stitcher, here on YouTube and also on Instagram. I think it's been about a month since I last recorded and uploaded a Flosstube video, so I thought it was about time I got back on here and showed you all the stitching I've been up to. So it's been a pretty busy month. I started a new job on the 1st of September and that's been going really well so far. I've done it for 3 weeks now, maybe 4 weeks. No, I think it's about 3 weeks. And my math is rubbish. No, it's 4 weeks. 4 weeks. And it's been going really, really well. So I'm working from home because our office is basically closed, and just been trying to get used to how it works. And it's weird working full time because obviously before, when I was studying, I was kind of on placement a few days a week but also had some studying time, so that's been a bit of an adjustment. But despite all that, I've managed to get a fair amount of stitching going. Although I haven't done much in the last week, I just haven't really felt like it. But before that, I was doing lots and lots of little bits of stitching. So just picking up a whip for one evening, maybe a few hours. And I was also using a tiny decisions wheel just to pick completely randomly from my stash. So the last time I filmed, I said that my plans for the next few weeks were to focus on my 2 whip go pieces, which were Winter's Hush, which I'm going to show you in a minute, and the other one was Folk Art Deer by Lizzie, which I've just realised I've forgotten, so I'll have to go and get in a minute. And I kind of did. I did like 1 evening on each of those, I think 2 on Winter's Hush, and then I just really felt like kind of reacquainting myself with everything that's in my whip pile, because there's plenty of them. I think there's like 46 at the moment, and I kind of missed some of them, some of them that I knew I really enjoyed stitching on and just hadn't got round to because they'd been whip go back in January or something. So I just let myself do whatever I felt like, or use my tiny decisions wheel to let destiny pick for me what I was going to stitch on, and it's been great. I've done lots of little bits of progress on lots of my whips, so let's have a look at them, shall we? Okay, so first up in this mini whip parade is a piece that I started during Stitch Mania this year. It's a freebie giveaway pattern from Lizzie called Be Kind, Be Happy and Be Well. And I motored along with this one. So this is the exception for this video, in that I did actually spend more than 1 day working on this. I think I picked it up and worked on it for about a week. And I love the way it's turning out. It's so pretty. It's got really lovely colours. So all I've got left now is to fill in the top of that block of beige colour around the top of the bee. And that would be a good bit of mindless stitching while I'm watching TV or something. So yeah, that one is nearly a finish. And I'm excited to finish that one. I think this would make a really cute little cushion or something like that. So this is stitched on 14 count, kind of off-white Aida. I'm stitching it in a combination of DMC, Anchor and CXC, so it's a bit of everything. And the needle minder is my Alice in Wonderland one that my grandma got me about a year or so ago. That's the first one. This might be a slightly longer video today than I normally do. I'm normally about 20 minutes, but I'm thinking today it might go a little bit longer. So this is in no particular order either, so I just literally stacked them up. Another thing I worked on over the last few weeks is this from Tiny Modernist, Always Flowers. My printer hasn't printed out this cover page as vibrantly as it should have done, because when you see the real thing, you'll see that the colours are much brighter than that. So I'm stitching this on 32 counts permin in natural light, and here is what I have. So as you can see, like I said, lots of bright colours, and since I showed you this last, I finished off the word flowers and I started on the always at the top. So there we go. Yeah, really, really pleased with that one. Love how that's turning out. And then on another night, I really, really felt drawn back to Cardinal Points by the Gentle Art and Long Dog Samplers. It's a collaboration piece. This uses all Gentle Art threads, which is kind of my first experience really of using overdyed threads. I'll show you the threads first because they are a lovely sight. I've sort of combed them out of it so not such a mess. Really, really pretty colours. I'm not sure how good my lighting is in here today. It's really dark outside. The last few days we've had the tail end of a hurricane kind of hitting our bit of the country. So it's been really dark, really wet, really windy. But I've got all the lights on in here, so hopefully it's picking up the glory of these threads. Just so pretty. Anyway, that's the threads. Here is the stitching. So I'm fairly certain this is 16 count. It could be 18 count. Aida in white, and I've done a fair bit on this one, picking up this time. So I did the base of this flower over here, and I did these elements down here, and I also, let me fold this up slightly so I can show you a bit better. There we go. I worked some more of these green swirly bits under here, because I'm using these kind of as anchor points to put in some of the other elements, so it'd be good to finish that line off. I think that's all I added this time. I might have added the flowers at the end of the words possibly as well. So yeah, this is lovely. I really, really like working on this piece, and I see so many people on Instagram and Facebook finishing this one off, and it really spurs me along because look how beautiful it's going to be. Yeah, can't wait to have that one a bit closer to being finished. Okay, the next few are all minis. So this is another Stitch Mania start. This is from a pack of patterns called Christmas Baking. I think it's Tiny Modernist, pretty certain it's Tiny Modernist. This is just a little motif called Stay Cozy. It's got a gingerbread man on this end, and I think it's got like a mug of hot chocolate or coffee or something down here. So yeah, I just added the gingerbread man. That was a quick little kind of hour or so of stitching. That's that one. This is another Stitch Mania start from this year. It's called I Stay at Home with My Cat. And at the moment it just looks like a blob, but this is the back of a woman's head and kind of the strands of hair which are tied together in a ponytail kind of underneath. So the full picture is her sitting at a window with her cat, and it's quite sweet and cosy. So this is stitched on, I'm going to say 32 count, kind of dusty pink evenweave. There we go, another nice one. The pattern for this, the chart I mean, is really complicated because there's tons of back stitching and it's quite hard to see the symbols for the full cross stitch under the back stitch, so that's a bit of a, what's the word, a bit of a test. I'll test my brain a bit. Love this one, another Stitch Mania start from 2020. It's called something deer, hot chocolate deer, I can't remember. And it's basically a reindeer drinking hot chocolate, and he's wearing a little red and green scarf, which I've got a very few tiny stitches of, and it's just lovely. It's just really nice. I love the kind of the subtle shading in the browns. Very nice indeed. So all I think I added was the ear, and then I worked up a bit further up on his head. That's that one. This is on 14 count dark blue, well, it's not really dark blue, kind of mid blue Aida. This one is another Stitch Mania 2020 start. So you can see I managed to kind of go back to a lot of those. It's from Silver Creek Samplers, and it's called Kindness Always Matters. So this is a really nice one. Eventually it will be a dog curled up with a sort of silvery grey cat, and then it says kindness always matters around them. So I already had the dog's head and ear. I added on the rest of the dog's body. I added on these two hearts. The hearts I actually did in variegated DMC, but it's quite hard to tell because it's one of those variegated ones where they have like quite big sections of each colour, so the variation doesn't really show unless you're doing slightly bigger patches of stitching, which obviously here I wasn't. I was doing little bits of stitching, but you know, you can kind of tell the two hearts are slightly different colours. And then I started on the word kindness at the top. And I haven't told you what threads I'm doing half of these in. The answer is usually I go to my stash of DMC first and see if I've got the called for DMC. Then I go to my stash of Anchor. If I haven't got the DMC, I look in my stash of Anchor and use an online conversion thing to find out what the closest Anchor colour is and use that instead. And then if I still haven't got the Anchor, which I normally do because I've normally got either DMC or the Anchor, I then pull out my stash of CXC threads, which I've got a complete set of, so I know that I've definitely got it in CXC. So yeah, most of the ones that I've shown you so far, apart from the ones that have speciality threads like Cardinal Points, most of them are like a pick and mix of all thread brands. And I know there's stitchers out there who would say you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't mix different brands, but you know, I stitch for me most of the time. Most of my pieces are going to end up in my home somewhere, so for me it's not about perfection, it's about enjoying the process and producing nice things to display in my house. So I don't mind if some of the colours are a little off what they should be, it's all good. I'm quite relaxed when it comes to stuff like that. Guess what? It's another Stitch Mania start. This one is called Home, or Home Freebie, and I haven't actually got on here. Yes, I have. It's by someone called The Basic Bunch, who are 4 people: Jordan, Jamie, Janelyn and Deanne. So The Basic Bunch produced this pattern called Home Freebie. It was a hashtag B1 and Stitch freebie, I'm pretty sure. And it's going to be a really nice blue house with a grey front door, and then it has the words around it, home is our safe haven. So I had already the front door and this side, I think, so I've added on the opposite side of the house, and then I started on the green. And I realised after I'd started on the green, it would have been a perfect opportunity to use a bit of variegated thread, because there's kind of these long lines of grass that go underneath the house. But I've already started before I came to that idea, so it will be fine. And what else have I got at the top? I've got the so these 2 little pink blobs up here. They are eventually going to be part of a circular wreath of flowers. So it's going to be really pretty, all different bright colours out the top of the house. So there we go, that's Home Freebie from The Basic Bunch, stitched on 14 count Aida. And my lighting isn't even good enough to tell what colour it is. I think it's off-white rather than bright white. That's that one. This one's a cutie. This is another Easter chick. So I guess 2 or 3 videos ago I shared a finish that was an Easter chick from a magazine. You can tell that I haven't made particularly good notes today because I'm really struggling to remember where some of these are from. It was from one of the British cross-stitch magazines, I think, and I'm fairly certain the designer was Fiona Baker, but don't quote me on that, but it was a series called Easter Chicks, and there were 4 of them. I finished one, this is my second start, and it's on 18 count fiddler's cloth. If I push it too close, we lose the light, that's the problem. Yeah, 18 count fiddler's cloth, and I'm definitely using CXC for this. And I like the little stitches. It looks a bit full and kind of overcrowded, but once you have the back stitching, that's not so obvious. So yeah, I'm really pleased with that one so far. That was a kind of a new start, because I'd started the first one for Stitch Mania, but I sort of decided to do the whole series, so I'm going to try and do another 2 on this fabric. So that was a new start. Okay, we're getting there. We're probably about halfway through now. And I'm on 13 minutes, so yeah, it's going to be slightly longer than my typical videos, hope you don't mind. This is Hello Autumn by Jen Jones. This is a freebie pattern that she has on her Facebook group. It's going to say the letters of autumn spelt out along the middle here, and then it's got hello at the top and a line underneath. So what I did was I went back and did some more work on the hedgehog, and they are looking pretty cool. I was really confused because it had these 2 red stitches down here, and for some reason I assumed it was the hedgehog's eyes that were stitched in red, and I was like, what is this, some kind of demonic hedgehog? But no, it's the rosy cheeks of the hedgehog, and the eye is a French knot, which I'll go back and add in later. So I love this. This is perfect for this time of year. Autumn is my favourite season. I love the change in the weather. I love getting cosy with, you know, nice hot drinks and cakes and stuff like that. So yeah, really nice. And when I started, so I did the pumpkin, no problem, fine. When I started stitching the hedgehog, I got really confused because of the way the letter U, I'll point to the right thing, the letter U here is kind of outlined in white. So I don't know, I just found it really like cognitively demanding to stitch everything in the right place and work out where like you was going to be. It's hard to explain, but yeah, so that put me off this piece for a bit, but now that I've got past that and that's finished, I've just got to do lots of back stitching around the leaves and things like that, and I shall be motoring on with that one because I'd like to have that done. So there's a few pieces in this series. I'm not sure if they are all released yet. I'm pretty sure Hello Winter is on Duren's Facebook page, and then one other season, but I can't remember which one. So they're really nice and they're free patterns, so why on earth not? And this is on 14 count white Aida, one of my old cheapy bits that I got when I first started cross stitching, so it's really rough fabric. That one. Oh, someone asked me where I got these bags before. These bags I get from Asda supermarket, and they're just £1 each. So I've got loads of them. They're really good. They're waterproof, dustproof, etc. And they fit like an A4 piece of paper with a few bits of spare space on either side, so they're perfect for patterns and fabric, etc, etc. Okay, this one then is Winter's Hush, which was my whip go piece that I planned to work on throughout the month of September, and it's still September, so it'll probably get a bit more love at some point. I haven't got a picture of the finished thing. If I think about it, I'll put one in here, because I bought this chart only from eBay, so someone else had stitched it and sold their chart when they'd finished. I don't know if I love this. It's full coverage, probably the biggest full coverage piece that I've got as a whip, in its dimensions. So anyone who stitched dimensions knows that they're quite complicated. There's a lot going on. I wish I could show you the pattern, because just looking at the pattern makes me nervous. The pattern's like multicoloured. It's like blue, pink, green, black. So all the symbols in different colours. Then you've got cross stitch going everywhere. Then add to that the complication that it's not just all 2 strands if you're cross stitching. It's a combination of 1 strand, 2 strand, 3 strands. I don't think I've got any 4 strand stitches in here, but I know some patterns do. Then some of it is half cross stitch and some of it is full cross stitch. So I just feel like I've really got to check every time I'm about to start stitching. I need to check how many strands. Is it a blend? Is it full cross stitch? Is it half cross stitch? So it's going to be a labour of love, I think, this one. Anyway, this is what I've done so far. So I started up in the top left-hand corner. And again, it doesn't look like anything at the moment. It just looks like a multicolour blob mess. Oh, I need to get better lighting. Anyway, yeah, but this is like forest trees over here. You really can't tell though. I think this line that I've pulled down here is like the edge of a tree trunk, and around it is just like green leaves and stuff. But then randomly there's these purple stitches, and when I was doing them I was like, I'm not sure this is right. Why are there purple stitches? But I think it's because when it's done, it will kind of blend. It's like you have to stand back from it a bit and you'll be able to see what it's supposed to be, what the picture is. And you can see as well that I got my faithful washable pen out, because after having done about 100 stitches here, I was like, I'm never going to keep up with this and stay in the right place unless I grid. So yeah, I've gridded it 10 by 10, and I've done like a kind of coordinates thing, so I've got letters and numbers to help me work out where on earth I am on the pattern, because I can see it going horribly wrong if I don't if I don't set it out before I start. So yeah, I'll have to kind of let you know, I guess, in the future how I feel about that one. I'd like to do it because it's like a kind of challenge, isn't it? So we'll see what happens. A couple more minis to break up all these big pieces. So this is another Stitch Mania start from this year, and it's designed by Leslie Tier, and it's called Christmas Teddies. Don't be fooled, this is not a teddy. This is a snowman sitting in the lap of a big teddy who's taking up most of this space here. So yeah, I finished off his hat, and then I worked on this bit, which I'm fairly certain is the teddy's bow tie, I think, possibly. There we go, that's that one. That's stitched on 14 count white Aida. I didn't tell you what Winter's Hush was stitched on. It looks like 18 counts to me, and it's kind of off-white beige. I don't think I ordered that. I think I already have that in stash, so that's why I don't really know what it is. And then the next mini, possibly the final mini, yeah, the final mini whip for today is this way up, and it's from a collection called Christmas Houses, which was in a magazine. Possibly a Joanne Jones. possibly someone else. This is the second one I've done, so I finished one a few months ago, and this is the second one. It's going to be a Christmas card. 3 guesses what it is. Well, I've already told you it's a house, so that's not that hard. It's actually a front door. So this is a red front door and a green wreath sitting on the door. So that would be good. That's that one. That was another one where I just literally pulled it out and started it and then put it down again after a few hours work on it. This one I'm really excited about. This is lovely. So this is the Stitchonomy 2020 Halloween Stitch Along. They've done a Halloween one for the last couple of years, and I always watched people doing it on the Stitchonomy Facebook group and thought that looks fun. Last year, I think there was like a thing where you kind of made your own pattern for each day. So the way this works is Alyssa from Stitchonomy has released the frame, which is what I'm working on at the moment, all in DMC 310, so black. And the frame then has 31 of these little boxes, and each day in October, starting on the 1st, a little mini Halloweeny pattern is released, and so by the end of the month I'll have filled up my frame with lots of lovely little Halloween pictures. So I'm trying to get this finished in time so that I can keep up with the Sal, because that would be cool, wouldn't it, to actually do a Sal with everyone else. She says, probably won't happen. So yeah, the frame has got another like 3 or 4 rows, and then hopefully if I get that done I can start up here in my first box on the 1st of October. So that's very exciting. I've got no clue what the picture's going to be. It's all going to be like released every day, so a little bit of excitement. This is another one I'm really excited about. So I've literally just stitched this before I came to film, and I thought, you know what, it doesn't matter if I haven't got anything that actually looks like anything to show, I can just bring it and it'll be fine. So this is from Owl Forest Embroidery. It's their free 100 Owls stitch along, and it's a mystery stitch along, so they're releasing bits of the pattern. I had hoped to start this pretty soon after it came out. Ordered a piece of fabric from Etsy, I think, and that was this piece of fabric that I just showed you for the Halloween sale, and it was too small. I did my calculations wrong, which was annoying, so I used that for Stitchonomy Halloween instead. I ordered this piece, which is a 32 count linen in limestone. Ordered it from Etsy as well, only after I'd ordered, paid, got the shipping notifications, otherwise I'd ordered it from South Korea. And so I then got a card through my door earlier this week saying I had an £11 customs charge to pay for it on top of the £16 I'd already spent on it. So this is going to be a very expensive project, all in all. I will put a picture in of... I'll put a picture into the front cover of this, but it doesn't actually reveal very much because obviously it's a secret stitch along. So they've kind of done a very clever pixelized way of showing the whole design, so you can kind of see where stuff's going to be and what colour it's going to be, but you can't see the whole design. Anyway, you get what I mean. So this is my start. It's very tiny, it's just a little bit of greenery, and this is the tip of an owl's wing. So there's going to be loads of owls. It's going to be pretty. It's not going to be this big. I think it's going to be about that sort of size when it's done. Very excited about that. And I'm not sure how long it goes on for, but they've released, I guess, a third of it so far, so I need to do a bit of catching up. Okay, so that was it in terms of small mediums. Now I've got 3 big bits on frames to show you. So I've shown this before, right back from my very first video. This is, I think it's called Wedding Love is the official name, and it's designed by... I think it's Joanne Jones, who I seem to be doing a lot of stuff from. This is a wedding sampler that's going to be for my husband's second cousin. He's getting married in June now, so the wedding was in October, it's now in June. So I've got a bit more time to work on this, but I think it's achievable. So since I last showed it, I have added on, I'm pretty sure, this little bit here, this line of grey and this bit of blue, and maybe those bits and that bit, I think. So I'm getting there. This is on, what count? 28 count, I think. Sparkly, opalescent, antique white, even weave. Is that enough details for you? Yeah, I think so. But yeah, it's good. I do like this one. I have completely messed up my counting here. So these letters are all 1 stitch taller than they should be. But I think I can fudge it. So I've made a note on my paper pattern. I've written over here one extra stitch to remind myself that I must put another stitch on the other side so that all of these details over here meet up. Fingers crossed I remember, because I do not want to particularly unpick all of that stuff that I've done. Okay, next biggie is a really biggie. This is Unicorn, and this is a pattern from Cross My Heart, which I think are an American design company. I found this in a booklet that I bought from a real cross-stitch shop, which is a rarity over here, so it was quite exciting to actually go into a shop that sold patterns. And I bought this book which had loads of fantastical creatures in. So the main chart in that book is a dragon, and it's huge, and it's not really my style, so I'll probably never stitch it, but the unicorn appealed to me. I'm doing this on 20, probably 28 count lilac even weave, and since I last showed, I think I've shown this before, I must have done in my whip parade. Since I last showed, I did more of this grey stuff down here, and I think I might have worked up a bit in this area as well. So this one, I don't know if I love working on this one, because at the moment anyway it's a lot of black and grey and white, and yeah, it doesn't really thrill me at the moment, but it gets more exciting because eventually there's lots of cryonic in it, and like a colourful braid that kind of goes around the outside, so I think I need to keep going on it. This is one of the sort of earlier patterns I started when I first started stitching again. And it was a real challenge, it still is a real challenge, so yeah, it'd be good to have that done one day over the rainbow. Oh, probably going to make him. Okay, guess what, it's the last whip, so it's been quite a lot, hasn't it? I didn't actually count how many, quite a lot. So this is the last thing I've worked on since I last showed you anything. It's Leslie Tears Black Work and Birds Stitch Along. It's a yearly stitch along, it started in January. Look how far I've got. I'm still on February. My grandma is doing this as well as her friends. I know my grandma is basically up to date. I think last time I saw hers was in like June, and she was up to date then. So I finished January completely. February, as you can see, I've been working on, and I finished the bird's wing up here, and then I dotted around these little bits of flower, and do you want to see something really naughty? So these individual stitches, eventually these are going to be petals of flowers, and they're going to be completely surrounded by black work. But I couldn't be bothered to do individual stitches, starting and stopping, so I've completely dragged my threads. And now I'm worried, now that I'm looking at it in better lighting, I'm worried about how obvious that is. So I might, depending, I don't know, when I'm holding it up here, it's not obvious. If I hold it so the light is behind it from the window, that's when it's obvious. So I don't know, I might have to do those again and actually put the effort in and do some pin stitching so that I can do those as individual stitches and not carry the thread. But I think I'll wait and see what the black work looks like actually, because I'm thinking now, once all the black work is surrounding those individual threads, stitches I mean, those drawn threads behind might not be so obvious. Here's hoping. Anyway, this is cool. I love the colours in this, rather, not pictures. I love the colours. So the first month was all kind of pinks and oranges. This one is more blues and sort of aquas and turquoise. Yep, and I've got a lot more to go. There we go, that's that one. Okay, that's it for whips. So I've had nearly half an hour of whips today. That's pretty good for me. Next up, let's talk some haul. Okay, so haul-wise, I've been really under control with my cross-stitch bending. So my haul really is some of the stuff I've already shown you. It's these two pieces of green fabric, both of which I've actually used, and then a bit of haul that I didn't even buy myself, which is a lovely birthday present from my mum and dad-in-law. This is the Blue Flower Huckleberry Farm, and I've wanted this ever since I first saw it, ever since it was first released. It's just stunning, and I think part of the reason I love it so much is the purple fabric used on the model stitch, and I will try my best to use it as well, but it's shale linen by Pictureless Plus, and I think I've heard many Flosstubers say it's out of stock everywhere. I haven't looked yet, I haven't tried to find it, but I probably could find something similar. I do like the purple. I'm a very purple person, so it would be good to get something as close as possible. And it's got really fun motifs. There's a bear down there, there's a house, there's trees, another bear up there. Yeah, this is my sort of thing, definitely. So I don't know when I'm going to start. I might hold it back for a special occasion. It could be New Year's start or Christmas start maybe. Yeah, and it's charted in... That was fun. My laptop just decided to put a screensaver on, so I was like, has it recorded anything? But no, it has. Luckily, I'm back. It's charted in DMC and Weeks and One Gentle Art and one CC Black Coffee. I don't actually know what that means, so if you do know what CC stands for, let me know in the comments below. Something like cotton, might be colour and cotton. Anyway, let me know. Yeah, so I'll get all the called for threads. I've probably got a couple of those weeks already, I think, for Christmas sentiments that has some week stuff in. Yeah, there we go. Huckleberry Farm. That's my haul. Okay, time for giveaways. So I just started filming this bit, and then realised I hadn't actually drawn the giveaway, so that was going to be hard, wasn't it, to say who won this adorable little hippie mouse kit. But I have done the draw now. Just went on YouTube random comment generator, and the winner is Anna Tanzania. So congratulations, Anna. If you get in touch with me either on YouTube or on Instagram and let me know where you'd like me to post your kit, and I'll post anywhere in the world, so that's absolutely fine. This giveaway is a bit of an unusual one. So this is the thing I'd like to give away this time. It's not cross stitch, it's embroidery. It's a complete cushion embroidery kit from Design Perfection Limited. It's called Rose and Dianthus Cushion, and it's a full kit. So inside you've got a piece of pre-printed fabric to embroider over, all of the threads, including this bit of finishing thread, which is the red sort of ribbon to go around the outside. So if you would like to stitch this, then all you need to do is leave me a comment underneath this video with the word cushion in it somewhere. So you could say, I'd like to stitch the cushion, or that's a beautiful cushion, or whatever you fancy. And I will draw a winner in my next video, whenever that is. I'm not going to make any promises about when my next video is, because as you know, it could be weeks, it could be months, it could be... So there we go. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you if you're a subscriber for coming back. It means a lot to know that there's people out there who enjoy my videos. Thank you for all the nice comments that you leave me, I really appreciate it. Quickly then, my plans, I guess, for the next period of time until my next video are just to keep stitching. I think the last few weeks I've really just remembered that I don't have to be so rigid. I don't have to stick to whip go or whatever. I can stitch what I want to stitch when I want to stitch it, and that's been really, really nice. And I feel like I've rediscovered love for so many of my projects that had kind of been sitting on the shelf, forgotten about. So there we go. Happy stitching. See you next time. Bye.